The French Revolution, a financial autopsy. 1. The collapse of a glittering illusion. In July 1789, the storming of the Bastille symbolized rage not just against tyranny but against a bankrupt financial system. France's monarchy lived in chandeliers and excess, yet beneath the velvet, the state treasury resembled a leaky wine barrel, elegant on the outside, empty on the inside. The revolution did not ignite from lofty philosophies but from bread that cost more than wages and debt piled higher than Versailles ceilings. The guillotine, often blamed on ideology, was in fact forged in accounting ledgers. Footnote: the revolution was sparked more by economics than ideals, with bankruptcy and bread riots doing the heavy lifting. 2. Structural weaknesses of French finance. France appeared wealthy, boasting fertile land, millions of citizens, and global ambition. However, its financial system was antiquated. Taxes were outsourced to tax farmers who squeezed peasants like lemons and kept the juice. Wealthy elites bought public offices as investments, creating a bureaucracy more parasitic than productive. Britain had already invented central banking, France clung to medieval fiscal practices. The state hemorrhaged funds at the top while crushing the bottom. Footnote: a modern superpower ran its finances like a medieval flea market, with predictable consequences. 3. Wars and debt, France's costly revenge. 18th-century wars bled France dry. The Crown borrowed over $1 billion to support the American colonies against Britain. Sweet revenge turned into financial suicide. By the 1780s, interest consumed more than half of royal revenue. Imagine a household where half the paycheck goes to loan sharks, and yet more loans are still taken. Welcome to Bourbon economics. Footnote: France's wars, especially aiding American independence, bankrupted the monarchy faster than any guillotine. 4. Tax injustice and popular rage. The nobility and clergy, less than 2% of the population, paid little or nothing. The Third Estate, more than 90%, carried the crushing weight: land taxes, salt taxes, tithes, and feudal dues. Bread ate up to 70% of daily wages, and when harvests failed, riots erupted. Political theory was optional, hunger was mandatory. Footnote: the revolution's true slogan could have been "No bread, no peace." 5. Reform attempts and failure. Attempts at reform, from transparency in budgets to abolishing tax exemptions, were crushed by noble privilege and royal weakness. By 1788, France could not borrow at sane rates. Contractors went unpaid, soldiers deserted, and grain shortages pushed bread prices to new highs. The Estates General of 1789, intended as fiscal triage, instead opened the floodgates of revolution. Footnote: when a state can't pay its soldiers or bakers, revolutions come preheated. 6. The assignat, paper dreams, paper nightmares. To escape bankruptcy, the National Assembly confiscated church lands and issued assignats, paper money backed by property. At first, it looked brilliant. But once politicians realized printing money was easier than reform, restraint vanished. Inflation skyrocketed. Soon, bread required wheelbarrows of paper. Foreign powers gleefully counterfeited assignats, turning France's money into a weapon against itself. Footnote: assignats were marketed as liberty's money but functioned more like confetti at an economic funeral. 7. Hyperinflation, terror, and economic collapse. By the 1790s, assignats were nearly worthless. Workers' wages dissolved, savings evaporated, and bread returned to riot prices. Price controls backfired, black markets thrived, and paranoia surged. Economic mismanagement fed political terror, guillotines silenced bakers and merchants accused of speculation. Inflation, once a fiscal issue, became a blood-soaked political tool. Footnote: hyperinflation transformed the guillotine from political theater into economic policy. 8. Napoleon and the return of order. By the mid-1790s, financial ruin made revolution unsustainable. Into this chaos stepped Napoleon Bonaparte, promising stability. His creation of the Bank of France in 1800 restored confidence, proving that even empires require balance sheets. Without financial order, his military brilliance might never have mattered. Footnote: Napoleon's artillery may have conquered Europe, but his central banking conquered chaos. 9. Modern parallels and warnings. The revolution teaches that debt, inflation, and elite privilege ignite collapse more efficiently than pamphlets. History rhymes, Weimar Germany, Zimbabwe, Greece, and modern debt debates echo France's lesson. Printing money buys time but never stability. Bread may not yet require wheelbarrows, but the dangers remain. Footnote: Financial collapse is the most reliable time machine, its lessons repeat in every century.